Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Tiksu to UniTartu. Today we're going to be discussing working while studying, finding work after graduation, and how to start your job hunt in Estonia. Today I'm joined by Kadri, a career counselor at the UT Counselling Centre, and she's going to give you the inside scoop about the job market in Estonia. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Tiksu to UniTartu. Kadri, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello. My name is Kadri, as Vincent said. I am as a career counselor working at Counselling Centre for 6 years now. And I meet every day students of University of Tartu, every level, bachelor's, master's, PhD. And also we meet a lot with university entrants, especially in the springtime.
And how did you get into this position? Maybe you could tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, about my background. My background is psychology. I've been over 15 years, I think, in education, working as a psychologist, working with young people from age 6 to 26. And in parallel, I have been actively also in this career guidance involved, and this has been kind of my other passion or so. And then 7-8 years ago, I also switched my career and started to work as a career counselor in full-time positions.
You're a resident expert here then.
I hope so. I tried to be.
Great. So my first question, it's a big question. Are foreigners allowed to work in Estonia?
Yes, they are. Of course, this is the short answer, but of course it depends. For EU citizens, it's easy. You are allowed to work all over the EU without any restrictions. But coming from non-EU countries, then there are restrictions, and a person needs to have a long-term visa or a residence permit for studies when we talk about students, which is our main target.
Yeah, our main target. So students will come here on their visa, D visa, however they arrive in the country. Are they allowed to work while studying?
Yes, they are allowed to work while they are studying, but they need to keep in mind that they have to study full time. Mm-hmm. They have to complete their curricula and keep their working hours so that this doesn't
affect their studies, maybe?
Yeah, affect their studies. So they need to focus mainly on studies, and then they are allowed to work, and they don't need any other type of visas or permits to do that.
Is there a restriction on the amount of hours that a student can work, or is it maybe just as long as they're completing their coursework, they're able to work however much they can?
To my knowledge, there is no such number, but this is it comes from my experience as a counselor who meets a lot of students and has this type of discussions, how to keep the balance and how to cope with the studies and how to cope with the work and studies. For each person, there of course is some number of working hours which is like healthy and it's still effective and you can keep the balance. But this is personal, individual. What I can say that your studies have to be the main focus.
Yeah.
And based on that, you can count how much working hours you can allow yourself. Understandably, you need to earn some income and live somehow, but it's easy to notice when your studies are not okay.
Yeah.
When you are in trouble, then you should take a look whether the balance is working or not.
Have you ever had an experience with a student where you've, kind of looked at their grades and they've told you, oh, I'm working 50 hours a week? And
yeah, we have a lot of this type of meetings and discussions with students. Some of them go actually quite well for some time, not eternally, but for some students it's also starting to become huge trouble too, and then we try to support and try to find a way out of it and build a new balance and all of that.
Okay, so the solution is usually just finding a balance for that specific person. Do you maybe have any general tips for, balancing studies and working?
Yeah, when we talk about the general tips, then the basic is that you have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to have some like physical exercises to keep your mind ready to do all of that. And then the next step is that usually it is wise to have some sort of plan, week plan, daily plan. And first you fill the plan with your study duties, and then you can divide and choose where you make compromises. Can you allow these compromises to yourself? And then you fill this with your working hours and duties.
I think that's really great advice.
Prioritizing.
Yeah, great. It's funny, actually, we had another member of the mental health counseling come here, Simon Andres, and he gave very similar advice about maintaining your mental health as the number one thing in terms of, trying to make that balance. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask you about internships. A lot of students for their degree have to complete an internship. This is not for every degree, but I know that some, including myself, have to work an internship. Do these internships usually lead to full-time positions, or are they kind of one and done just for the degree?
I actually can't point out such statistics, how many trainees will be offered full-time jobs later. Some of them are, some of them are not. From trainees' perspective, when we are in a trainee position or looking for a trainee position, when we are students, we should always keep that in mind, that wherever we collaborate with our peers or we collaborate with colleagues during our internships, it will be remembered. And every collaboration, the way you approach, the way you work, the way you communicate affects whether you might have greater chances afterwards to get the position. But it also is affected by the fact that employer actually has to have a vacancy.
Yeah.
Nobody will just create a position because you are a nice person and I love to work with you. This is not economically reasonable. That's not the life.
True.
But when we make internships, we should have this approach that I will put everything on the table. I mean, like my nice approach and communication and being goal-oriented and good communicator. And this usually also increases the chances that I might get a phone call afterwards.
Yeah.
Maybe not right after my internship is ended, but maybe after a few weeks or a few months. Or the contacts I made during this internship will lead me to new opportunities afterwards. So this is more like this general question that there is no such statistics, but the mindset that I will do it like the best I can, and this will increase probably my chances to find good positions.
Yeah, so when a student does their internship, definitely have them put their best foot forward and kind of put everything on the table. So they're showing themselves an employee, maybe not just a trial period person that's just there for 3 months.
True, and it is immediately visible what is your motivation, really.
That's really good advice. So in terms of job hunting, can students stay in Estonia to look for a job? Is there like a grace period after their residence permit ends in order to find a job?
Yeah, that's right. They have the legal basis for staying in Estonia for 270 days after their residence permit has expired. So, and exactly how you explained it, this is the time where they actually can look for a job and commit fully to this process.
Yeah, and if they don't get a job out of their internships, are employers mainly looking for people that are out of school, or do you think people still get hired that are like still doing their degree?
Yeah, that's also part of the how employers look for new talents. I can't say that they prefer one or another. There are students who find positions already during their degree studies, but there are also employers who prefer more to hire already graduate experts who have been graduating. It can depend from the fact whom the employers prefer to recruit. It can depend from the fact that some employers sometimes like to have this young going to be expert and train themselves, so to say. And
maybe they're getting the most updated knowledge since they're actively studying it.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. And there are also some employers who are maybe feel more safe to hire already trained experts, so to say. But also, this is something I'd like to say to all of our students and encourage them that nobody shouldn't be that afraid that if I graduate, am I enough? Am I good enough? Employers are fully aware that students coming out of university, they have this more of this theoretical background, and they are fully ready to onboard the young experts, young talents, and train them during these starting months, also in a practical way. So they are not expecting to get this full package who is just you put the push the button and they start working for you like 100% and they are like ideal. This is not something but employers expect. They really are ready to also guide and train the people they hire.
That's good to know, because I kind of just asked that based on the after graduation staying in Estonia. So basically, students should look for jobs while they're studying, and they don't have to wait till after they've gotten their degree.
Yeah, this is totally okay to do that, but also it's okay to be aware that if you don't find, this doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong with you or with your knowledge. Keep going, keep studying, and keep looking.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of job hunting, can you maybe tell me a few things that someone should definitely have before they start working, looking for a job?
It's one of the questions which is hard to answer with few words, but I try to give you short and kind of general answers, some general recommendations. First of all, really important topic. Discover yourself first before you do anything else. Knowledge about yourself helps you a lot. Then second, map all the opportunities outside. I mean, like working opportunities, but also the internship opportunities. What are the requirements? What are the conditions? What you can discover about a company you're interested of, and what can you discover about the sector or field more generally too. Then third, discover the job offers really carefully. Read them several times, what is actually written there. Recruiters usually put there a lot of important information, and every detail can be like the most important one. So be careful when you read those job offers.
In terms of when you see those job offers, should you be kind of tailoring your application specifically to each job, or do you think you should? Okay. Absolutely.
There is no other way we could approach when we prepare our application documents and we send them out. Always tailored documents. When you put yourself into employer's shoes, they are looking the one and only talent they need for this vacancy. And when you as a recruiter or employer get application which is not tailored, you can recognize it immediately. When you read them, hundreds of them, you can recognize it immediately. So think of this time loss, energy loss, and the approach. Where is the motivation when you send to the employer not tailored documents? So it already talks a lot about your approach and motivation and attitude. And the fourth is compare the information about yourself, about opportunities, what are out there for you, about the job offer, specific job offer, or some of them when you have several on your table in the same time. So these 4 steps are the corners when we talk about how to approach to the job hunt or internship hunt. The same thing.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice.
And when I can add, then we offer every semester to our students at the counseling center short seminars. Some of them are also webinars, so online, free for everybody to attend. Yes, we expect people to register, otherwise we don't know whether we even have some people attending, and we also prepare every time for the webinars. And there are also topics on how to look for work or internship in Estonia, how to prepare for this job hunt, internship hunt, how to prepare for job interviews, for example, how to prepare your application documents, CVs, motivation letters, and so on. So everybody is welcome to register and attend. And another information in this matter is that hopefully this autumn semester we will also make public the website called Career Gate for University of Tartu students. So we have gathered there a lot of important topics, and for example you can find valuable recommendations for planning your studies, planning your traineeships, also your working life. So there are some options to dig into these topics more in detail.
And it seems like there's definitely resources available if somebody is looking to get a little bit of help with it.
Yes, absolutely. And I forgot to mention that our students are welcome to counseling. We can talk about these questions also in individual counselings too. Everybody is welcome.
Yeah, great. And you mentioned kind of the process of interviewing and applying. So maybe you could tell me, specific to Estonia, what the typical hiring process is, what maybe an applicant might go through.
I think typical recruitment process in Estonia includes, of course, sending your application documents once the job offer is published somewhere. But some of the job offers are not published. They are like open, but employers are looking through their own contacts, social media sometimes. They use also contacts of their employees. So when I look for somebody, I ask from my employee, do you know somebody who is like actually really good fit to this position?
Yeah, I've heard Estonia is kind of like who's who, or if you know somebody's uncle, you're probably going to get hired a little bit easier. And that's not for every company, but it definitely...
Yeah. But I would say actually this is not so Estonia specific. When I talk with my colleagues, let's say in Europe, in different countries, also in countries like Germany or France, the same thing. There is this public labor market, publicly available job offers, but also, again, think about the employer's perspective. You have to also optimize your resources, time, money, and people. And when there is a specific position, and you look this one and only talent, then of course you talk with people, especially when you are small or medium-sized company, and you might get so much, if not better talent, then sometimes the process is quicker, and this is not Estonia specific.
Yeah.
I started to answer too long, but it's actually there is this public job labor market, and also is this hidden or invisible labor market where is a lot of information mediated, and we should, as internship or job seekers, we should be active in both of these, in this public job market, and also use our own contacts and talk with people and mediate my own message that I'm looking this and this and how motivated I am of doing something. And coming back to your initial question, then besides sending your application documents, mainly there are held interviews, and usually candidates attend to the interviews. Sometimes also are provided some exercises, assignments, tests. It depends of the field, it depends of the
course,
position. But this is like generally how the job and recruiting process goes.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask, maybe, especially after COVID, are a lot of these interviews and tests, are they in person or are they online? Are they Zoom? Should you be delivering your CV in person or online? You know, some people's dads might be like, I went down to the shop and handed them my resume and I got hired the next day. You know, how is it here in Estonia? The kind of the etiquette or how it goes?
Yeah, mainly the application documents are sent via email. This is the main approach. But again, when we talk about students who are like actively studying and looking for job to just earn some income, for example, positions in some service, then it also sometimes works that people just jump into some restaurant and start conversation and okay, I like the environment here and how you work, do you have some positions? But these are like really these starting positions for students to earn just daily income. But when you talk more about positions in my expertise field where I'm studying and I'm hoping to work in the future, this communication is mainly via emails, the application documents and all other communication.
Okay. So in terms of foreigners finding a job in Estonia, one of the big concerns we usually hear is the Estonian language. How hard is it for a foreigner to find a job, maybe in a more specialized field, without the Estonian language or with like basic knowledge of it?
It can depend of the field. But this is also not like black and white.
Yeah.
The main message from my side, based on my experience, is as a counselor and meeting a lot with also international students and listening their job hunting stories. And alumni also, sometimes I get some really good feedbacks. Estonia is a small country. And we have our own language.
Yes.
And we are proud of it. And we try not to lose it. This is the core. And now when I answer not only from the Estonia's labor market perspective, again, the same thing, for example, in Europe, when I talk with my colleagues, they give the same advice to their students. When you start in a new country, even when you study in English, but when you hope to continue in this country. You would like to find a best position, dream position for you. You would like to build your expertise, expert career. Then it's wise to start learning the local language.
Yes.
It expands your opportunities totally. You can talk with more people, you can spread the message, you can be involved in information which you couldn't get otherwise. You are more integrated.
Yeah.
You get the jokes.
Yeah, I have a little bit of experience like that when I did my internship in Tallinn. I was working for a Swedish company, but the main working language was English, but everybody spoke Estonian if it wasn't with a job, and I definitely did feel a little bit left out on the information that might spread through the office, and definitely the jokes. So just my personal experience would be if somebody's looking to work in Estonia, definitely try to learn the language. It's gonna, even if it's not 100% necessary for the position, it's gonna, help you along the way.
Yeah, even in a situation where you maybe you're not actively looking at the moment a new position, but just having chats with your peers, colleagues, so on, and somebody is looking for exactly the talent you are, and you just get the message. Then you can think of it, whether you are interested or not. But when you are not in this local language space, then you might not get those type of messages too. And it's always easier. You have more opportunities for sure.
All right. So in terms of foreigners working here, maybe without the Estonian language, or maybe if they have some knowledge, what fields do you typically see foreigners working in that come to Estonia, or newly graduated foreigners?
It's hard for me to say or point out that like there are some specific fields where we can see more foreigners. Okay, maybe IT sector.
That's the one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, has been for a while this sector where we can hear and see that more of the foreigners are working. But even when I think about my own network, then I'm pretty sure I can find in each sector somebody whom I know that is a foreigner and works in this sector. So I can't say that there are only specific sectors where foreigners can work. They can actually work in every sector. It depends on your skills, knowledges, experiences, of course, your degree as well, but also the language and the network you have built for yourself, where you get the information and about the opportunities.
And I'm sure this is a question that a lot of people want to know is, what's kind of the average wage here, just for anybody, for the Estonian average wage? Maybe the minimum as well. Yeah,
the official average wage is, I guess, this was March data statistics, 1,979 or something. And the minimum wage is, I guess, 820 or something, brutto.
That might be pretty good for a student just to get along.
I would imagine, yeah.
So you do work for the counseling center. If somebody's looking to maybe have a personal counseling or get a little bit of help from the counseling center, what can you offer them, and maybe how can they find you?
I start from the end. How can you find us? When you go visit University of Tartu's webpage, there is section studies, and student support is the next choice there on the menu. So under student support, you can find all the information about our counseling center, what we provide, all the different types of counseling. Career counseling is also available for the people who are not our students but intending to apply for studies here. And on this website there is also a booking link. You can click on this link and register for the counseling you are interested of. Outside of university, people can't register for psychological counseling. All the students can do that.
Okay.
And your first part of the question was...
I kind of combined them.
What we are... how we can then support and help the students who turn to us. Talking only about the career counseling, mainly the discussions involve all the questions we have touched here already, of course, starting from looking for a job, combining your studies and work-life balance, planning your studies, planning your future career, planning your internships, attending interviews when people are already in this process, preparing their CVs and cover letters, getting this feedback. We are not like writing them in these counseling sessions, but we can give feedback. It can be several times. Sometimes it is a long process. So all these different type of questions and many more, but this is the basic, I would say. And if we don't know, or we are not the experts, then we for sure try to help our clients to find the right person who can actually support or give the necessary information.
Absolutely. Maybe somebody looking to start finding a job in Estonia, do you maybe have some resources, some websites that maybe are specifically for Estonia that people can look at, or just good resources to use in Estonia?
Yeah, there are some... resources I made for myself, just some notes to not to forget, but starting from the well-known webpage Work in Estonia. For everybody who comes from other countries, it's good to start from there. All the necessary information is also updated there. Also some job offers, I would say. Then public job searching portals, for example, cv.ee or cvkeskus.ee. Then Estonia has also unemployment insurance fund for the people who are currently unemployed, but they also have a lot of nice services for the students, for the foreigners, for the people who are actually working trying to thinking of changing their careers, for example. So there is a nice package, quite wide package of services also for different people, and they have their own job search or job offers webpage too. Then recruiting applications. These are really good sources nowadays to create an account and let employers know what you are looking for and what you can and what is your expertise and your expectations. Job fairs, when we talk about students to attend at the job fairs, and some of the talent recruiting companies are also providing their services, usually for the companies, but also when a person looks for a job or internship, can also turn to their web pages and find there some interesting options sometimes.
Absolutely. So as we're running out of time here, I wanted to ask maybe what's your top number one tip for finding a job in Estonia, just to close it off with?
It's hard. When I can give only one tip, know yourself, be curious about opportunities, and work with your network.
Great. I think those are really good. I really liked when you expanded on earlier as well. So Kadri, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining me today. And this has been Tiksu to UniTartu. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Tiksu to UniTartu. We hope you had a chill time with us. Make sure to follow the University of Tartu social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn. And if you have any questions for us about the podcast or topics you'd like us to cover in the future, then let us know. And this has been Tiksu to UniTartu.